On this week's episode of Teachers Off Duty Podcast, we are talking about a very specific breed of person. They're a little crazy in the head, middle school teachers.
Hey, best friends. Welcome to this week's episode of Teachers Off Duty. I am Honest Teacher Vibes if you don't know me. And I got some guests here this week. Technically, y'all ain't guests. Y'all OGs.
She's more OG than I am. She's OG.
OG, triple OG.
Triple OG. Original gangster.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like the way you say gangster.
Thank you.
Gangster.
Don't say it again, bro.
And people say I'm the stereotypical white male.
Don't say it. Just tell the
Man,
people who you
that's
is.
gangster.
Shut up, Gabe. Tell the people who you is.
Me?
You're a gangster.
Hi, I'm Jess Smith.
Hi, Jess.
Hey,
Happy
Gabe.
to see you.
Hey.
You're such a troll, bro. Shut up.
It's conversation skills, right? Mm-hmm. Someone says hi, then you introduce. Like, that's how you do it. Keep going.
I feel very informed right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
I am
thank
happy you feel informed.
Bro,
Acknowledging my
If you
emotions.
don't-
Yeah.
if you don't
Thank
tell
you.
these people what your name is.
My name is Gabe Dannenbring. Happy to see ya. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Nobody asked. Nobody asked.
Did
We love
you?
it.
Did you ask?
What?
Did you ask how his day was?
didn't ask.
I didn't ask either.
We're those two teachers at school that we don't like. When we see you
Anyway.
coming. I'm just playing.
You know,
just playing.
I thought one of these days I'd get a friend. But
Oh my gosh.
taking me 26 years and
So
still
this-
looking for one.
You're getting married in
Still
a
looking
month.
for one. Yeah, but rumor is she's on the payroll, so
Whoa! Oh
my parents are paying her, so
Okay, if you can't tell, we legitimately all teach middle school. We play too much.
no! Way
So
too much.
this week's episode is why you have to be a special breed of crazy to teach middle school. But before we get into that, let me tell you why you are a special breed of crazy if you don't come to the Board Teachers Comedy Tour this summer.
Ooh, wow, transition.
That's all I'm saying.
That
okay.
was great.
Okay. Come and hype
Wow.
me up. Come and hype me up. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, so this summer, the Board Teachers, the Strugglers Real Comedy Tour, we got brand new material. It's going to be amazing. You are going to laugh until you cry. So the summer shows at the end of July, we will be in Billings, Montana.
Oh, Billings, Montana. Oh, love that place. You want to know a fun fact about Billings, Montana?
No.
You want to know? Do you want to know?
This is the first time
Sure,
someone
yeah.
has been so excited about
Billings,
Montana.
Montana.
Do you legitimately have a fun fact about Billings, Montana?
So Billings, Montana, actually, they have the world's largest dog that was ever raised there.
Are you joking?
100%. World's largest dog. It was like 18...
I'm looking at the editors
it was
because
like
I don't know what to do.
1878, they had the world's largest dog.
Okay.
Look it up. Check it out.
We're going to be in Bozeman, Montana, Missoula, Montana, and Billings, Montana at the end of July. We'll be in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at the end of July. And then we'll be in South Texas, Beaumont, Corpus Christi, and McAllen. And then we'll be in Springfield, Missouri, Columbia, Missouri, Mulvane, Kansas, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then we'll be in Wisconsin with a few shows that are almost sold out already. So you better get your tickets. We will be in Green Bay, Wisconsin, Wausau.
Go Vikings. We
Go
don't like
Vikings.
the Packers.
Wausau, Wisconsin, Green Bay, Wisconsin.
School!
Madison, Wisconsin, and St. Paul, Minnesota.
Whoa, Minnesota, go
Hey!
Vikings! Skull! Hey, you want to know a fun fact about Baton Rouge, Louisiana? I can't spell it. I don't know how to spell Baton Rouge.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Try right now.
Baton Rouge. B-A.
Not me looking to make sure I know how to spell it.
T-O-N-R. Rouge. How do you spell rouge?
You tell me. You're spelling it.
R-U.
You are botching this.
C-H-E? Baton Rouge.
Wow.
So here's the thing. We all do
Thank
teach
God
middle
you teach
school
science.
because we have ADHD like our students.
Baton Rouge.
One cannot focus.
How do you spell it?
It's
B-A-T-O-N.
Batonrouge.
Where's it? G in Rouge? Oh, it's French. Right?
Is
that
it
wasn't on your
French?
list of fun facts.
Is Baton Rouge? It's got to be French, right? No?
I don't know. I teach
Yeah,
English.
it's the French Quarter.
We got a thing called the Louisiana Purchase, which I'm now fascinated
okay.
by. Actually, as a full-grown adult,
Oh,
the Louisiana
I
Purchase
cannot.
was
I
such a
cannot do
great
this.
deal that the U.S. somehow got. Like, take that, France. How does that make you feel?
I don't know what to do.
We got a deal of a lifetime. Deal of a lifetime.
I don't know
Did I
what to
turn
do
on
right
the
now.
history channel?
If
I don't know
anybody
what
is
to do
from
right now.
France, how do you feel that we did it?
I think that you're a 7th grade boy right now.
No, I'm just a white male in his mid-20s who's finally discovering that history is so fascinating. You guys want to know about World War II now?
No, I don't.
What about the Roman Empire? What do you guys want to know?
He is the boy in class that I'm like, I'm finna throw something at him if he don't shut up.
What is your Roman Empire?
What is?
Am I your Roman Empire? I don't know why that was a thing on TikTok. Am I your Roman Empire, Pookie? How many times a day do you think about me? How many times a day do you think about me, Pookie? Have y'all seen that?
How many times a day do you hear a student say that in your class?
Too many times because I did it too well. That's the thing about teaching middle school. Like, they know stuff about TikTok that I don't know. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, is that a TikTok trend?
Did you see the LeBron James "You Are My Sunshine" thing?
No.
Dude, these kids for like 3 weeks. And the thing about middle schoolers with trends is they will ride that trend forever. Like, it'll be weeks of the same trend. Where it was a trend where there was a song. It was like, "You are my sunshine, something sunshine, only sun." Yeah,
You
it was
don't
a
have
picture
small
of
children.
it was LeBron James with his face like as the sunshine, kind of like
Like
you
a
know,
Teletubbies.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say. It's like the Teletubbies. Yeah. Shout out to the yellow one.
Like
best
the
one.
Wiggles.
But so
Pinky
every day these students, they would just be singing "You Are My Sun." I'm like, stop singing that song. And then of course, when that trend was going on, it was when we were going over our space unit in my accelerated class. Do you know how many suns like models that we did that had LeBron James's face
I can't.
inside of it?
I cannot.
Like, LeBron, you're probably not going to see this, but
Somebody send this to Bri.
the stranglehold that you have on these, like, middle school students love him. They love him.
I think he's a crybaby.
Oh!
Oh, somebody get Bron a binky, bro. Always crying. I'm like, maybe go play soccer since you're always falling down. Oh, nobody hit you, bro. Calm down.
Did Jordan do that?
No, he didn't. You ain't got no flu game. No flu game.
It's true.
No.
I have the debate
swear.
with my students all the time about like who's the GOAT, LeBron or MJ, and middle schoolers eat that up, dude. Like they get
heated
fired
about it.
up.
This is
Debate.
one of my favorite parts of middle school is they have
They get
opinions
fired
and
up.
they get fired up.
Sometimes
about
I'm
it.
like, you could have kept that opinion to yourself. Miss Richardson, your outfit need a jump scare warning.
Oh.
Well, you smell like hot dog water and depression. So shut up. Okay, I do feel like they understand sarcasm more in middle school.
They
They do because
their
in
love
elementary
language
school
is sarcasm.
Yeah.
But like they say things without thinking them first.
Me too.
Which is
Been there. Been there.
I think we have concluded that we are students.
yes.
Because high
You
school,
have to
they're
be.
like way too serious. Elementary school, they're too little. They don't understand sarcasm. 6th, 7th, 8th grade, sweet spot.
Yeah, we don't bring them up to our level of maturity. We come down. Hey, meet your students where they're at, right? We're making, yeah.
We did the become your students
Yeah.
instead of meeting them where they're at.
Some of the things like that, like middle schoolers always find hilarious. And I don't know who's doing this. I don't know what's going on with this.
I just know
Hey, you know what? I'm
nothing.
going to start this early. We're going to do a good or garbage right now, okay? We're going to do a good or garbage, okay? As I think about this, it makes me a little bit frustrated.
The picking up the mic is taking me
Well,
out.
it's taped here, so I can't like rub. So I got to scooch in and lean back. All right. Hey, these creators of these textbooks, whoever's playing this sick, you-know-what prank on all these teachers who always have the math problems end in the number 69. Knock it off.
Knock it off.
Do you know how hard it is to teach kids when you say like, hey, the answer, it's 69, and every single boy in the room, they all start laughing,
And the teacher.
and like as a teacher, you're like, stop, knock it off, and they all look at you and they're like
like-
their
you're
lip,
like,
and they
turn to
start
page-
laughing. It's like
Turn to
to
page
page
70
69.
and
Yeah.
then go back
I
one
do all the
page.
time. So these create like McGraw-Hill, whoever is
Not
your
you
guy
name dropping.
that's there, The answer is 69 on all this stuff. It's garbage. Please stop.
Yeah.
Imagine
Please.
if no answer was 69.
Please.
They're like, was that not a number? I
Yeah.
never heard that number in
I
school.
feel like it should be like the hotel elevators, right? They don't have
They
the
figured it
13th
out.
floor. They don't have the 13th floor.
They know it's bad
We can
luck.
just
Why can't we figure that
Yeah.
out?
They know it's bad
I'm
luck.
over it.
Yeah.
It's just, it drives me nuts. Sorry. I had to get that off my chest pretty
Yeah,
early
as
on.
you should.
when
As you should.
I taught middle school, there was a whole entire
List
math
of things,
worksheet on the planet Uranus.
Oh.
Not you
still
saying
funny.
it while it ain't
Still
right.
funny. Still funny.
What was that? What was that? What was that? Uranus. What? What? Miss Richardson, I can't hear you. Can you speak? Uranus.
It's still funny, like, to say Uranus in class. It's still funny.
Look at us, we're laughing.
Like, I don't know. It's something about it. No matter how old you are, that, and then like when you like teaching the reproductive unit, like so
I
I've taught
wouldn't make it.
I've taught health, and then like
I wouldn't
obviously you do
make
the
it.
reproductive unit, but then like my class is like intro to biology, so we like do the body systems,
can't.
and like sometimes you have to talk about the reproductive system, and it's like, all right, everybody,
The
say,
way I
say
would
the word.
gloss over that, like
Oh, I just approach it head on. It's like, all right, everybody say it. Say it. Say the word penis. Like, go for it. Say it. Blurt it out. Like, we're just going to get over it. We're going to say it, and now we're going to talk about science because the word's going to be in there. 50% of the population has it. So let's just acknowledge it. It's no different than, I'm not even going to go there, but just,
you're a science teacher. Put your
right.
head on.
yeah.
Where are your middle school students? Go ahead. No, I'm just playing. Don't go there. I'm just kidding.
So
Just kidding.
you just have to approach it head on and be like,
Yeah.
hey, this is biology.
Right,
Here's
right, right.
here's a word.
Yeah.
You can laugh. Now let's
Right.
get it together.
Now let's move
and-
on. Yeah.
and we'll be fine.
I feel like that usually negates any,
Unless you're a teacher
like-
they don't like, then they just gonna mess with you the whole rest
That's
of
true.
the
Then they're gonna be in the back
whole
playing the
entire
penis
time.
game, yelling the word penis and
Yeah, I
gradually
used to do
getting
that in
louder.
the cafeteria when I was a kid, when I was in high school, to see who could yell at the loudest. And somehow we never got in trouble. I think our teachers weren't listening.
They were
No,
like,
just
they
like,
knew. They're like,
we're
we
done
can't
with
deal with it.
We're done with this.
One of the other things that middle schoolers think is just like top tier comedy. They think it is like they think they're ready to host SNL with this one.
To me, they laugh at everything.
They do, but the one that really just they go crazy is the last clap game. Do you know what that is? So like if you're at like an assembly or something, the goal is to who can clap last. Yeah.
I
so
have never heard
Really?
Are
that.
you serious?
Yes.
Well,
What
but-
is this?
Oh, it's well.
Who am I? Why do I
as
not
somebody
know that?
who has partaken in the last clap game, what you do
You're
is
so fancy. I have partaken.
I have partaken in it. So like after somebody performs or something, it's the competition who can clap their hands last. So then it just drags on forever until there's two boys who are clapping their hands, and it's like now that my frontal lobe is fully developed, it's like that is so incredibly
Me
annoying.
to both of y'all. Stop.
Yeah, like
Stop.
let's just
We're
not
in
do
there
it.
again.
they're
Let's
both
not
like
do it.
looking at each other down the row, and they're like,
You're done.
Uh-huh. When I was in like college, I always told myself I'm never gonna teach middle school. I was like, I'm gonna be a
Really?
teacher. I was like, there's not a chance in hell I'm
Is
teaching
your-
middle
did you-
school. Like, I'm not doing
Yeah.
it. I'm
Yeah.
not doing it.
Yeah.
And then my first job was my first middle school job was 6th grade. I was like, you know what?
Oh,
Job
I
is a
love
job.
them.
Let's give it a shot. And I really do enjoy teaching
Those
middle
my
school.
people.
Like,
I
I
like-
really do. Like, it's fun being a middle school teacher because they are like a ball of clay and they are every day getting molded in a different direction. They have crazy thoughts, crazy
That they
smells,
just blurt out.
crazy
Everything
body
crazy.
movements. Like everything about them is just different. And it's like you can't help but love it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't help but love them.
Yeah.
Some days they can drive you nuts.
They do.
Just like
And they do.
anybody else.
Yeah.
They do.
But it's like you just can't help but like it.
Don't you feel like middle school is that age where you start to realize your teachers are real people? Because I feel like in elementary school, you're like, if you see your teacher outside of school,
It's a god.
yeah, like middle school, you see your teacher, like, what up? And then you just keep going. Like, you ain't got to speak to me outside of school. I'm just kidding. I actually do like seeing them outside
I
of
do
school,
too.
especially
I
if
do
it's a
too.
student I can't get a hold of their parent. Ma'am, can I talk to you about your car's
Excuse me.
extended warranty real quick? But I do feel like that once they get to like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, I know I joke about not liking to teach 7th grade, but I would teach any middle school grade. They're just different. 6th grade, they're still little, you know, they're growing into being a teenager. They still like you and kind of care what you think. They're a little bit scared to like not follow the rules. By the end of the school year, they nuck if you buck and they don't care about the rules. 7th graders, like, because they're growing into being a teenager, it's like it's a weird time for them. Yeah. And it's a hard time. It's like, you know, weird time, hormones, emotions, you up
social
and down,
media.
Social media. And then once they get to 8th grade, they're not, you know, ready for high school yet, but they're also like they've calmed down a little bit. Yeah. Like they seem like more so young adults. Yeah. But it's a I've taught each grade. And it is so interesting that we get to see their growth like that. Like most people, you know, they don't really get to see that. But because the gap between, or how they grow between 6th and 7th grade, from 7th to 8th grade, one of them came back with a deep voice. I was like, hey. Boy, I thought you was somebody. That. Yeah, don't walk up on me. I thought you was somebody daddy. I almost asked you for your license and registration to make, because where your voice get deep like that.
I always think it's funny when all of a sudden, like, one of the 8th grade boys starts growing facial hair. It's like, brother, you got a mustache? Like, you can grow a better mustache than I can, and I'm an adult?
God forbid they grow like one little one. I'm like, I can't see that. Yeah, I'm like, I can't see that. But it is. It's middle school is just a conglomerate of craziness.
In South Dakota, you can start driving when you're 14.
What?
So,
what?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, never coming to South.
And the reason why we have that is...
Us as moms, who the hell is letting them drive at 14?
Yeah. So it's because of like farm kids. So the law, it was always like, we want the farm kids to be able to drive. And it's like, well, we have cities now in South Dakota. Well, we had 2 cities. And Rapid City and Sioux Falls, shout out. And so you always have like the older echelon of 8th graders. All of a sudden they can start driving to school.
He is using some $5 words. Echelon.
I might have used it incorrectly, but I'm going to act like I used it correctly.
Yeah.
It
sounded really good.
Yes,
I speak real goodly. The words I use are real gooder.
Yeah, go ahead and rewind.
But
yeah, go ahead and rewind it.
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge is hard to spell, like onomatopoeia.
But no, we've got these middle schoolers who will be driving to school, and once they walk in the door, they got their lanyards. They're, you know, twirling them around, and they are so proud of it.
Schoolers that drive to
energy.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
That is a different energy. I cannot imagine handing a 14-year-old my keys to the car.
Yeah, don't lock my keys in this car. The only time I'm handing you my car keys is for you to go get the groceries out. Don't lock my key in this car.
No, yeah, like these kids can't remember to bring a pencil.
You know they're texting and driving.
Book.
Where's your car keys?
To class. Right.
Where's your Chromebook charger?
Yeah. Where's your car?
That movie was funny. Dude, where's my car?
Dude, great movie. Great reference. Great. Dude, where's your car?
Great
movie. No. Dude, where's my car? Oh, no.
Great movie.
Great movie.
But I can't imagine a 14-year-old drive. Like, you know how cool you would be if you pulled up to school in Mississippi and you 14 driving your car to school? Can't tell me nothing. I'm going to go leave.
No.
I'm going to leave during activity to get some donuts. You want some?
Yeah, right?
Give me a chocolate ice glaze. Appreciate you. Hit Starbucks right quick while you're on the way. Ice white mocha, extra shot of espresso because y'all stressing me out today.
Wow, that's a weird.
That is crazy to me.
Baffling.
Because you know they're texting and driving.
Yeah.
Snapchat, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But middle schoolers are funny. Like, they will give teachers a hard time. Like, in class, they will give you a hard time. They'll kind of be a pain for you. But they'll have your backs at oddly strange times. Yeah. So I had one student this year, and God, he's just funny. He's one of those kids where the student drives you nuts, but you love the kid.
Yeah, it's like always make you laugh.
I love the kid, but come on, student. Like come on, come on, bud.
Student.
I got to teach you something.
Yeah.
So him and I would go back and forth all the time, and then all of a sudden, at my desk, you can see in the hallway and see like there's windows and whatnot, so you can see out in the hallway.
You have windows? What?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Windows over there.
Yeah, bougie classroom.
Oh, bougie.
So all of a sudden, he sees the principal starts coming down to the room, and he announces to the whole class. He goes, "Big Dog's on his way. Everybody quit lacking." And then he looks at me and goes, "I got you, Mr. D." It's like, what?
Love you, man.
And I was like, "Did you just refer to the principal as Big Dog?"
Appreciate
he goes,
it.
"Yep, Big
As
Dog's
you should.
coming."
What up, Big Dog?
Oh, it was so funny. It's like,
I love those kids
thanks
like
for
that.
having my back.
You know what? The kids, like, surprisingly, like, they will tell you if a print, because, you know, like, usually we text each other and be like, hey, admin's on
Drop-ins
whatever.
today,
Right.
drop-ins.
The kids will straight up they'll see the principal at the door before you do. They'll be like, hey, principal's coming. I'm like, hey, y'all doing group work. You can talk if you want to.
Yeah.
You ain't got to be quiet. But they say the craziest stuff, too. Like, one of my middle schoolers, you know, they just blurt stuff out. And one of them, like, they want you to know everything. And, like, it's not like kindergarten where they tell you the business. Middle school, they tell you the business and go into detail. I'm like, you could have left those details out because I'm a mandated reporter. Now I got to call the police. But
I do paperwork now.
I got to call somebody. But one of my kids at the end of the school year, he was like, Miss Richardson, I got to tell you something. I was like, okay, what? He was like, we're going to have to put my dog down. And I was like, oh, but no. One of the kids from across the room was like, man, don't nobody care about your dog. I was like, hey, yes, we do, man. I was like, don't say that. He was like, you know what, Ms. Richardson, that was foul. My bad. Hey, man, condolences to your puppy. And I was
And that's every day as a middle school teacher.
Every single
Every
day.
day.
I'm like, y'all, where do y'all come up with this stuff?
These people that are lifers as a middle school teacher.
I'm a lifer.
How do you do it?
I love middle school.
Did you always know that you were going to teach middle school?
No, I actually have a sports medicine degree.
Whoa, big brain
so
over here.
I went to, nah.
Get a load of this girl.
I was like, if they have a heart attack, you want me to do CPR? They gonna die.
Were you alt certification?
So I did alternate route. And I've told my story before how I got into teaching, but I started out as a sub, and they were like, you have a bachelor's degree, just, do an alternate route program. I was like, bet. And so but middle school, they're like my people. I had subbed high school, subbed elementary for like one day. I was like, I quit. And then like high school, they real chill, but they're like too chill. I'm like, they don't laugh at none of your jokes or nothing. Like y'all don't joke around? No. Not with people they don't, like adults. They don't really feel like it's cool to joke around with an adult sometimes as high schoolers until you really get to know them. Middle school, they joking off the rip.
Oh, man.
I love them. They are like full of energy. Because high school, when I subbed high school, I was so bored. I was like, this isn't entertaining at all.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there doing their work.
Yeah.
I think they're texting.
Somebody say something wild.
Somebody say something.
Where's the off the cuff, like just say something crazy?
No off the cuff anything. Middle schoolers have a comment about everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Every single thing.
They've got a noise to make about everything.
Oh my
You'll just be
gosh.
like mitochondria's powerhouse of the cell. Some kids be like, bah! like, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm good back here. Like,
During COVID,
Making a noise.
Right with you.
During COVID, when they had those masks on, I could not. Somebody was meowing. I could not figure out. And then the meowing migrated. Like I could never.
It's like a mind virus.
I would like get it down to one side of the room. I'm like, oh, okay, and it would come from. So y'all working together. So y'all are in cahoots with each other. Amateurs.
No.
But
always do that.
like they make the crazy, and then they y'all's kids bring like stuffed animals to school.
No.
My middle school, I ain't never seen it before, but this year, I guess it's because of the Squishmallows.
Oh, those things.
The kids are, don't you dare. I love Squishmallows.
Do you?
People are like, is that for Peyton? No, those are
Just,
mine.
Like, quit bringing toys to school.
I don't get
I'm old school though.
That is a thing though, because it's like it's a
toy.
It's also like a health thing because it's fur. Like it's fuzzy, and it's like we don't allow kids to bring blankets because what if it has like a bed bug on it or a lice or
Can you imagine
lice or
bringing
a tick?
a pillow into school, it absorbing all of those disgusting
That's
things,
like all these teachers who have.
and then going to snuggle with it at night.
So one of the teachers that's right next to my classroom, she's got a couch in there.
Oh, no.
And like there is a 0% chance I will ever sit on that couch. That is disgusting.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
And most people who have flexible seating, a lot of their flexible seating is not cotton. Like it's not, cloth. It's like something you can wipe down and sanitize. Yeah. But we have a lot of kids that bring like they squishmallows or like a stuffed animal. One kid though, I ain't even gonna cap. He brought Bucky to school, and Bucky. So I had never heard of Bucky's before we went on tour a couple of years ago. And
is that the down south type of deal?
Yeah. So if y'all know Gary Brooks, he loves Bucky's, and so he was the first person to tell me about Bucky's, and I was like, I never been on one. I walked in, I was like, what is this? And so one of my students, he brings in the little stuffed animal Bucky, and that was our class pet this school year. I don't know why, but one day when he came in, Bucky had a sheet of paper and a pencil just stuck into the front of it. I don't know why. I was like, and it said fish on the front. I don't know why. I was like, hey man, why you put a pencil on Bucky's head, tape a sheet of paper there and say fish. Is Bucky a fish today? Because I thought Bucky was a beaver. He a fish today? Oh, okay. All right. Middle schoolers just bring you like random stuff too.
Yeah.
Y'all's kids not bringing
It's like a cat.
Yeah.
They're kind of like cats. Where all of a sudden it's like, hey, here's a dead mouse I got you. Like,
Aren't you proud of me?
I brought you something nice. Here's a dead cat.
They bring
or a
like,
dead mouse.
They bring the most random stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's out of love too.
it
They're
is out
so
of love.
genuine.
I keep it. Like all the stuff. So this year, this is the first year that I've done this, but this group of kids, like they like to write their teachers' notes. Like they were super encouraging. Like, you're the best teacher ever. I was like, One of the kids was like, Miss Richardson, even though you be mean to us sometimes, we know you love us. Like, we kind of scared of you, but we also like really love you, and you're the best teacher ever. And I laminated it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep that. 'Cause you can call me Miss Trenchbowl and Miss Honey at the same time. But this is the first year that I've done that. I had a lot of kids give me like notes this year, and I laminated them so that I could keep them because years past, like I've lost their notes and stuff.
Yeah.
And you have the self portraits that your kids did. So I got this idea from you this year. Since this is my first like full year back to teaching, from taking a break from social media, I had my students do self portraits because I feel like I never, as the years go, it's not like we take a class picture like they did in kindergarten.
Right.
And so as the years pass, like you remember some of your students' names, but you forget, what they look like. And so I did the self portrait thing, and it was such a great. I got it from Teachers Pay Teachers.
Like for me, one of the hardest things about being a middle school teacher is if you want to be a good middle school teacher, a good chunk of the kids are not going to like you.
Oh, 1,000.
Because in middle school you need extreme structure.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference as a middle school teacher where you need to be authoritative, not authoritarian.
Yeah.
Like you need to be able to be authoritative, but once you cross the line to being authoritarian, like you don't want to go there.
And that's a skill that you
It
have
is.
to
It's
learn.
something you learn over time.
It took me a while
Have
because
y'all,
I just wanted to be best friends.
I don't know the name of the I don't know the author of it, but the book is called Teach Like a Champion, and it's got like a bunch of...
Oh my gosh, we had to read that for
So
our PLC.
I know people are like, a book. I know that's how people feel about 180 Days, the classroom management book. The book is called Teach Like a Champion, and it's got like a bunch of like different, teacher techniques in it. And I'm one of those people, like, I'll read a book and I will take the meat, leave the bones. So one of the things in there, because you said trying to balance between being like authoritative, but also, being able to build a relationship with the kid. One of the techniques in there is called warm but strict.
Yeah.
Like, so I was talking to my principal about this, and I was like, I find, and this is how I know I got a good principal, because I normally don't talk to principals. But I was talking to my principal about it, and I was like, I feel like that's something that I struggle with. Like, like being warm, but also strict. Like, I'm good on the strict part, but sometimes, especially when it's like a disciplinary thing, it's like, how do you add, like, because some people can do, there's some teachers at my school, I've seen them do both at the same time.
Yeah.
Mine, I like struggle with, merging the two, where I'm like, no, I this is not okay for you to do. Like, I don't know. Like, is that something
I think like with middle school, you need specific lines, specific boundaries, and say, you can get to this point, but once you cross over, here's what the punishment's going to be. And middle schoolers, you really need that because they're middle schoolers. They're squirrely. Like they're squirrely. They always push boundaries. I think more than any other age.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the great advice I got was your students are not your friends. You do not need a 13-year-old friend. Yeah, that is weird.
That was some of the best advice I've ever heard.
And once I came to the acceptance of knowing, like, a lot of these kids are not going to like me now because I am strict and I am firm in my rules, they're going to understand as time goes on.
Right.
And for a lot of kids who have never had structure, like they don't have structure in their home, they're not used to it. So when they're introduced to it, they get really frustrated with the teachers, they get mad and explode. But that's part of just being a teacher. Like you introduce structure to a lot of these students' lives.
And I think that was one of the perks for me going into teaching middle school, like right out of college, was that I was younger and they wanted my approval still in sixth grade. And I think those middle school teachers that have been in it for a long time, they've been able to figure out that balance and how to create those boundaries without without ruining relationships at all.
Right.
One of the things I always tell my students is my job is to teach the objective on the board. I would love to have a ton of fun while we do it. But if
sometimes
we get to the point to where we are screwing around more than we are
Right.
learning, I'm no longer doing my job that I'm
Right.
paid to be there to do.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take the fun part out of it, and we're
Right.
going to have the box is going to shrink on what we are allowed to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids learn very differently. So I try to start off with a wide box. Like you have a bunch
Yeah.
of different learners. As long as we accomplish the goal, which is the objective on the
Yeah.
board, great. But if what we're doing is not getting us to that objective, which is my job to teach,
Right.
we got to change something. We
That was,
gotta-
have to be
that was always
flexible.
my speech at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like, I am a fun teacher. Like we're gonna have the best year. You guys just have
Yeah.
to let me do my job.
Yep.
Right.
Otherwise, this is not going to be a fun year.
Yeah. Well, a lot of teachers, we're super flexible too, and we learn, on the fly because I think sometimes our classrooms take on our personality. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
our kids, they know, the personality of their teacher, what they can and can't, get away with. And so I know that I'm a silly person. I literally essentially am a middle schooler. Like I know myself. That's why I mesh so well teaching middle school. And so I had to figure out how to add some parameters to help us transition from being like having a good time to when it's time to, for us to focus and learn. And one of the things that I, told my students was there is a time that we're going to be silly and we're going to have a good time. Nobody want to come to school and every 5 seconds of the day feeling like you're only learning and not having any fun. Kids will try.
Micromanage for 8 hours.
Kids will try for teachers that they like. And the only way for us to build relationships with kids sometimes, I can't just be standing up there teaching all the time.
Yep.
Right.
There has to be some
Right.
conversation. And so I tell my kids that if we're going to be silly, but we're also going to be serious. If we cannot transition from being silly back to being serious, then we're only ever going to be serious.
And middle schoolers have a very hard time with that. It
They
is
do.
really hard to ramp them up and then bring it back down. Usually they get ramped up and then they keep going
Yeah.
and going. So especially
They don't know where the line
Exactly.
But I found with my
Exactly.
kids that they manage each other. Like when I
really?
started saying that, the kids would be like, no, we like the times that we're able to be silly, bro, chill. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
will tell each other, like you were talking about in one episode, that girl that'll look at that boy and be like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
And so my kids, like, they know, like, they're like, well, we want to be able to be silly sometimes when we come in here. I don't want
Yeah.
to just sit here and do work the whole time. So they literally, the kids that they know won't chill, they'll be like, hey, if you don't chill out, we all finna be mad because
Yeah.
we want to be able to be silly. So
Yeah.
middle school is just such a, you have to be, as a middle school teacher, you got to be super flexible because you
Yeah.
just never know. Well, I mean, elementary too. I feel like you just never know
Yeah.
what you're gonna. But
But
middle
the
school,
way that I could get so off track if they said something so funny.
and sometimes they
Because,
do
like,
it on purpose.
and sometimes they don't.
Sometimes they don't. But
It's just like
Yeah.
off the
Yeah.
dome. They are just saying the most hilarious stuff that
Yeah.
ends up becoming the greatest inside joke
Yeah.
for the whole entire year.
they're so funny.
like
Yeah.
they're so funny.
Like they are some of the most entertaining people.
Oh.
Yeah.
and like effortlessly entertaining.
They don't know. Yeah.
They
They,
didn't
don't
try.
know how talented they are with
They
their
don't
show.
even try.
Yeah.
They don't. I would sit and like cackle laughing, just like listening to them during snack
Yeah.
time or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they would come up with the most hilarious stuff.
Right.
We had a class pet and it was this like gross pepper that some like fifth grader had left in his lunchbox for too long. Yeah.
We are
His
literally
name was
our
Gerald.
students.
His name was Gerald.
You named the pepper.
They did?
Oh, of course.
I can't remember.
Funny.
We had a roach in the ceiling one year, and it just was up there. My old school, it was up there for like 3 years. And I think one class I can't remember what his name was, but we started calling it our class pet.
Yeah.
because he's just up there chilling.
Yeah.
He part of the family now.
I think one of the hardest things for me as a middle school teacher is to see how much middle schoolers struggle with being in a classroom for 8 hours a day and
Yeah.
not be able to get up and move.
I
I
know.
still think we need to have
Yeah.
recess.
Do your kids get recess?
No, they don't get
I mean, do they
recess.
take PE?
Every other day. I mean, every other day for 40 some minutes. Like
Every
that's
other day.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, they don't have
Why
it
is
every
PE
day.
on a rotating schedule?
It's just how we do it.
What do they do the
they
other
have
day?
PE every other
Every other day. Yep.
What do they do the
They
other
do one of the other electives like CTE or FACS or something like that.
Wow.
So
we have our kids have activity, but yeah, it does rotate. But I mean, they have an activity every day. But
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, like I wish we had more time to let these kids just
Yeah.
run
Because a
around.
lot of them,
and,
they do have a lot of, and some of them I really do feel
a lot
bad
of these
for.
young males, they
Yeah,
gotta
they
go
got a
run
lot of
around.
energy,
they gotta
man.
go. I remember how it felt being in school and just being like, I need to go move.
Yeah.
I need to go do something.
Yeah.
And that's really hard as a teacher to see because you know we are not giving them what they need, which is
Right.
time to go burn off their energy, go
Yeah.
run around.
That was one of the hardest parts about state testing, y'all. I felt so bad for them that they had to
Oh, it's
sit for
hard.
that long because
Yeah.
they didn't really. We started testing at 8 and we didn't get done until 11. And like, if
so
they had to go to the bathroom, like, we would let them, leave whatever. But you got to pause their test and da da da.
Yeah.
And I thought, because I went and took the praxis, and I was like, man, some of these kids sit longer than I had to sit to take the praxis, and I'm like. Even I have to take a 10 or 15 minute break at some point in time during my test. Those kids sat from 8 to 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
too long
That's
for them.
too long.
Like one of my little boys that I knew had like a lot of energy. One day I could just tell he was like, I cannot sit here. I was like, hey man, you can go run down the hall and run back. I let him because I felt bad for
I've
him,
told
bro.
boys-
Like he needed to get that energy out.
I've told boys so many times, I'm like, hey, go in the hallway, go do 25 push-ups. They're like, oh, okay.
Not
Like,
25
they
push-ups.
love it. They're like,
Yeah.
all right, let's do it. And then they're like, hey, let's do a push-up
Yeah.
competition. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
I
Let's
ain't doing
burn
no
off some
push-ups.
energy. Let's
Because
do
if I
it.
get down there,
Yeah.
somebody gonna have to help me up because I ain't getting down there. But yeah, like even some of my girls, I'm like, you can go to the bathroom. You can go. I know you just go in there, put your lip gloss on, but go ahead. For
Yeah.
do you?
Yeah.
And at the middle school level, and I'm sure a lot of other levels are this way too, but I'm just hypersensitive to it because that's what I teach.
Yeah, that's what we teach,
You
right.
you get whiplash emotionally with dealing with middle school kids. Like this year, I had this one student that he just did not like me. He didn't like me at all.
Yeah.
And one day he decided to give me the silent treatment. That was how he was going to show me that he hates me.
That's
And then
fun.
he would give me the silent treatment, then I'd walk away, then I'd hear him bad mouthing me and, saying stuff under his breath. I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. And then, talking about how much he hates me and whatnot. And then the next class period, I've got a kid who tough as nails type of kid, life is hard. And he was going through some emotional stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, we were in the hallway talking. I was like, dude, do you want a hug? And he just gives me a big hug and gets emotional. And it's like that all took place in the span of 48 minutes.
yeah,
Like
that's
I got
so
one
true.
kid who won't talk to me because
Yeah.
he hates me.
Right,
And then
and
another
another
kid
kid.
that's like just looking to give an
That's
adult
so
a hug.
true.
The amount of
Yeah.
stuff that we deal with, it's like
Oh, it's hard.
middle school. There is like, especially some days they come in. I'm like, y'all arguing? I thought y'all was friends. No, I don't like her no more. Y'all been friends the whole school year. It's the third 9 weeks.
You can't.
What you do?
As somebody who has been on a reality TV show,
Just
I
dropping
can
that
say
casually.
that there's more drama amongst middle schoolers than there are on reality TV.
They do have a lot of-
There
They
is
are a
so much
reality
drama.
show.
Oh,
But
and
you
it's
got
pure
to think
entertainment.
about 7th grade too, when their emotions, their hormones, and all that stuff. They are
Everything
just trying to
is so
it's
real,
heightened. Yeah.
so big, and middle school is usually when you start to figure out like you're an individual
Yeah.
and like you have the ability to make relationships and
Yep.
choose what you can do, and
Yeah.
like it's that first taste of freedom.
Right.
But for a
And
lot of
it's-
them, that aren't at that maturity level yet,
Yeah.
they think it's a hive mentality. Like we all are one. I want to be the queen bee or the alpha male. Like
Yeah.
I want, or I
yeah.
want to be friends with the one dude who's popular or
We
whatnot.
did that when we were in school.
Oh
though.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. Because you don't have you have some of the pockets of friend groups that, you have your band kids and your art people, you have those pockets when you're in high school, especially, but middle school, a lot of it is just a big collective
That's
group.
what I was about
Yeah.
to say. I don't feel like that because I like this group of middle schools. I feel like everybody hangs out with everybody. When we were in
Yeah.
school, like the basketball players, they hung out with each other. Football,
Yeah.
they was with the athletes hung out. Da, da, da. This group of kids, they hang out with everybody, which I think is really
Yeah.
cool.
That
like
is
they
really
are.
good.
I mean,
Yeah.
they argue all the freaking time, but. I will say that this group of kids, like where we would have labeled somebody as weird when we were in school and immature, this group of kids,
Yeah.
they don't really, they'll be friends with anybody.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
it's kids that you would never think they would talk to each other. They'd be the best of friends. I'm
Yeah.
like, I ain't even know y'all knew each other.
Yeah.
And then the next day, they're like,
Individuality
we
is
hate
kind of
each other.
celebrated a
Yeah,
little bit more than-
individuality
yeah.
is celebrated. But
What kind of middle school student were you? Like
bad,
bad?
bad. Till I got
Would you
to,
have wanted you as a middle
nope,
school student?
Nope. They put me and my twin in school suspension one year for the rest of the school year
What?
because we wouldn't stop fighting
Oh no!
With each other or with other people?
with other people.
You were a fighter?
Yeah, my mom would have
Throwing hands?
My mom would have beat my A if I was fighting my sister at school now, but I think she still beat my A for fighting.
How
But
long,
we
how
were
long
just-
were you in ISS for?
I want to say like the last 2 weeks of school, they just put us in school
Wow.
suspension because we wouldn't stop fighting. I'll never forget that little blocked in desk. Now it looked like the cubicle I worked in when I first got out of college. I was like, oh, got PTSD from my in school suspension. But Yeah, we just now when I got to 7th grade, which 5th and 6th grade, they don't really let them play school sports.
Yeah.
When you get to 7th and 8th grade is when they allow you to play school sports. So I had something, and we see this a lot between 6th and 7th grade. I had something that I didn't want to lose,
Yeah.
and so I had a motivation to act right at school.
That's why
Not
sports
sure why.
are so great.
Yeah,
sports are
so-
so great for so many kids.
Yeah, so I mean, basketball kept me out of trouble in middle school and high school because that was something I wanted to do. And I knew, you know, if you get in trouble or if you're doing something you ain't supposed to be doing, your mom and dad are not going to let you play basketball. And that was like my thing that I loved. I didn't want to, like this year I have a kid that like, he got in trouble all the time. And then toward the end of the third 9 weeks, they let them try out for football. And he knew football trials were coming up. And I was like, well, your behavior you sure ain't been behavioring like you normally be behavioring. And he made the football team. And so when they make a sports team, that fourth 9 weeks is almost easier to control the athletes and keep them from getting in trouble because I'm like, I'm going to tell you, coach. And they're like, but they're in 6th. Some of the older ones are like, I don't care. And I'm like, imagine you running at practice the whole time. But 6th grade, they're like, oh, I don't want you to tell my coach. Like, and so it was cool to see them care about sports and like how it can, something that they want to do, some type of extracurricular activity that they want to do, change their behavior.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing.
Yeah, that is the cool thing about middle school is you start to see like how their interests are like being developed and starting to control them a little bit.
And they are very expressive. Like they will express them doing the absolute most. One of my students, I was walking around actively monitoring. I was walking around and I looked at his paper and I was like, hey, I can't read your handwriting on this. He goes, well, I can read it. Well, the person who wields the red pen needs to be able to read it because I can't read it. And he just was like, I mean, I can read it. And I'm like, how am I supposed to grade it if I can't read it? I can read it. They are just so like, when they don't care about something, they do not care.
And they will tell you. And
they will.
With their chest.
With their whole chest.
They will let you know that they don't care.
This is stupid. I don't know why we have to do this.
You start to make deals with the devil a little bit. Like,
listen, you guys.
I will feed you.
Everyone else is doing this whole worksheet, okay? You just have to do 2.
Listen,
Just 2.
When it comes to them trying on the state test, I am not hey, I will make y'all some brownies. I will beg. What I will do. Please don't go in there Christmas tree that test. Don't you like me? What I do with my students when we have a sub. So if I'm gone for multiple days, and for some reason middle schoolers, more than I think any age, struggle with having substitute teachers. They are buck wild.
They see a substitute and they're like, I'm gonna ruin their day. Like I am gonna push the boundaries to the max.
Sorry, I have to say this or else I'm gonna forget. Speaking of substitute teachers, I saw this on TikTok. There's a school that they will take substitute teachers' keys at the beginning of the school day, so that if the kids piss them off, they can't leave. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that don't sound legal. Like
I feel like if you were like, we'll give you an extra $20 if you give us your.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't believe everything that I read on the internet, but they said, they were like, and people were commenting saying, no, that's a thing. Because some subs will just get up and leave in the middle of the day.
Oh yeah,
and I don't blame them.
Been there. I just have signed a contract.
I don't blame them.
They didn't sign a contract.
Do you hear me? But sorry,
I forgot what
you were saying when you have to have a sub.
The deal that I do with my students is I say if I'm gone for multiple days and I have 0 names written down, I'll buy the entire team donuts. Yeah. I'll buy all 100 some kids. I will do it, and it is a great incentive. Rarely in my teaching career have I actually bought donuts because kids always blows up. But the kids do a good job of holding each other accountable. Like, dude, I want to get a freaking donut. Like,
that's the
quit
thing I
screwing
do
around.
like about middle school.
And food is the best way to get a middle school student motivated.
But now they're saying you can't do that.
Yeah,
they're saying you cannot give kids food as a motivator. And there's this year, for the first time ever, I've heard that if they come to school and they're there the last several days of school, they cannot help you clean your classroom.
What?
That was always. I was astounded. I was astounded.
Well, we just call that helping.
I don't know. And what's crazy is I always thought that was so fun to help my teacher clean their classroom. This year, they said you cannot let them kids help you clean your classroom.
What?
That
Why?
they didn't want it to be seen as a punishment for them coming to school.
No,
I'm like, what?
doing
They
it.
love doing
I
it.
tell my students at the end of the year,
Sometimes-
they're like, hey, we're going to do 5 minutes. Can we all just help each other out here and clean? Because it teaches them
Yeah.
that skill of like, hey, I'm going to do something selfless.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
To
going
me,
to
it's
help
like a bonding
somebody
time.
out.
Yeah.
Like, I always
Yeah.
thought my teachers was cool. I'm like, hey, you want me to throw that?
It wasn't
throw
like
that
I
out
was
for you?
ever forcing them
I
to do it. I was
didn't-
like,
I
you
never-
can read a book,
Yeah.
or
I'm telling
you can
you.
help me clean this really
some
cool
of the
closet.
stuff, some of the stuff, I'm like, nah, y'all, now, and people were. I saw this on somebody else's post. They were like, that their school district said, like, put out a district wide policy, said that you cannot let kids help you clean your classroom.
Once again, things that
that's like, I'm like, that's
things that districts
disconnected.
do that just piss
That-
teachers
right.
off. That's like, really? We're going to go down that
Yeah,
route?
Right.
Was
Like-
someone really that
Like,
upset
what-
that you
yeah.
have to make a policy
How
about
bad
this?
did something happen that
Yeah,
now
yeah,
you're
yeah.
going to
Yeah.
send out an
Yeah.
email?
Well, here's
I
a
get
question
that.
too. So when I was in school, I feel like my parents, like, until we had a half a day, we were at school.
Mm.
This group of kids, they're like, when they're done with their exams, they don't come to school.
Stats are out there. We know the chronic absenteeism is crazy.
But that's what I'm saying. But this group of kids, like, they weren't even absent. Like, when they were done with their exams,
Oh, they just checked out.
Their parents, like, they quit coming to school. We still
Wait,
had like
what?
3 days. Yeah, we still
I've
had like
seen
2
that.
days, 2 or 3
Yeah.
days of school left, and
I've
they
seen
just
that a
didn't
bunch.
come
Like the last week of school, I had so many.
because they're already done
They're
with
just
their
like,
exams.
we're done. They're like, we don't want to waste our time. We don't want to watch a movie or whatever. And
and they just don't come.
and oh, here's something.
Yeah, I
So
ain't sad.
middle schoolers, as they
There's only
evolve
10
and
kids
change,
in here.
like one of the things that I've noticed is gone are the days of turning on a movie and the kids being pumped to watch something.
They don't
my
care.
God.
Yeah.
They don't
They
care.
do
Well,
not care.
and here's why. I think
can't
it's
do movies
because
at my school,
they
but-
are.
No.
Well, even just like videos, even just like basic videos. I think because kids nowadays are always watching videos,
They
they're
are, yeah.
always there. So now when a teacher turns a video on, they're just like, oh, this isn't special like it
Right.
was for us. Like, you know, we
if they
didn't have
wrote that
we didn't
big
have
cart
devices in our hands
yeah.
all the time,
Yeah.
always watching videos.
Yeah.
Like we still had the cart that you would roll in with the TV on it, and
I
you'd be
used to get
excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's easier to give a structured lesson than it is to have like a video day.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
video day is like, nah.
That's when behaviors just start showing up. Even if
Yeah.
you have like a viewing guide, they're like, I ain't doing this.
Yeah. Right.
All right.
I'm like, you're gonna get a 0. I don't care.
I don't care.
They are so they
They-
are like so nonchalant sometimes. But with social media, they're saying that like I've seen more like static posts lately because people they're saying that people are getting tired of like
Videos all the time.
videos.
Yeah.
They miss static posts.
Yeah.
So like Facebook and because Instagram, I've even seen more static posts on Instagram. If you don't, a static post is just it's not a video.
Yeah.
But I've even seen like
We also call that a picture.
yeah, a picture. Well, I guess as a creator, I'm calling it a static post. But not me calling it a static post as a creator, but yes.
You've been drinking the Kool-Aid for too long.
a picture.
Influencer.
A picture. But people miss pictures on social media. They
Yeah.
like memes. They
Raw,
like being
authentic
able to
pictures.
scroll.
Right.
Yeah.
No filter, just like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm at my 9 to 5, like
Right.
Not my 9 to 5.
just hanging out, killing these Excel spreadsheets. They're
But
like,
what if they?
like
I
that stuff.
heard somebody say one time that the amount of this was. I think I heard this on Jay Shetty has a podcast. He's like one of the like motivational health and wellness people, but he said that the amount of technology that we ingest every day is the equivalent of watching 15 movies
Wow.
each day. Is that not
that's
crazy?
crazy.
Wow.
So he's like the amount of information. I know. I mean, I'm like, ugh, I wouldn't
Yeah.
watch 15 movies. But he's saying the sheer amount of technology, images, visuals, videos, and stuff that we take in every day is
Yeah.
essentially you would have to process 15 different
Yeah.
movies. With the amount of and so imagine for the kids, because some of them they just, especially in the summer, they're just
Oh, yeah.
on their phones.
Well,
Yeah, right.
We kind of we breed ADHD with how much technology we have and how
To shorten
how
people's
many
attention
things
span.
are going on at once. I've caught myself at times when I'll be watching a video on YouTube and then do the picture-in-picture thing and then be scrolling on Twitter and reading stuff
Yeah.
and listening. It's like, whoa.
And
I
it's
don't think
one
our
thing,
brains
yeah.
are meant to
Yeah.
be multitasking like
Yeah.
this all the
Yeah,
time.
and to an extreme
Yeah.
level.
The amount of times that I'm like watching a TV show and like feeling
Scrolling
the need
social
to
media at the
scroll,
same
like,
time.
what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like this is not.
But at one point they came out and said like they did like a study on how many people just clicked their phone.
Yeah.
You didn't pick your phone up for
Oh, yeah.
anything. You weren't looking at the time. It's just it's an impulse to tap on your screen. You're
I
not
saw
checking
that-
your notifications.
I saw that like last year. So I was I was at church and we were sitting on the balcony. I could look down and I saw there was a teenage girl who was on her phone. And she would cycle between the same 3 apps. And she wouldn't do anything new on the app.
Yeah,
It'd just
she
be
just-
like, open one, look, close it. Open another one, look, close it. And then go back to the first one. It's like, nothing has changed on that app when you
Yeah.
opened it 35
Right,
seconds
right,
ago,
right,
but now
right.
we're back to it. And I'm not being, old man, these kids nowadays.
No,
But-
because I be doing the same thing.
yeah, we do the same thing.
Right.
Yeah,
I be
we're-
right in the staff meeting.
Even
Wow,
as,
that's crazy.
as adults, we're like, oh wait, I didn't notice that I've been doing this. This is bad.
Yeah.
And we have
Well, there's a
relatively
healthy
fully
balance.
formed brains.
Right,
As
right.
kids, they're looking for entertainment and
Yeah.
escaping and
Yeah.
And there has to be
And
a
that's-
balance.
Yeah, and that's hard to think about. Even like myself as a middle schooler, I can't imagine dealing with the technology that they're
y'all
dealing with
ima-
and like
yeah,
the
can you
information.
imagine?
And like
So hard.
I was the boy crazy middle schooler.
Oh,
like
I was so boy crazy. Oh my
I
god.
was
Really?
like, oh my gosh.
was so-
I
Now
was
I'm like-
real
I had a
crazy, but
crush
none of them
on
liked me.
every-
So
And now they're all like, dang.
Dang, we had our chance.
like there was that idiot on reality TV show.
Oh my gosh.
I always knew that dude
it's
was sucked.
Steamy McDreamy. So I feel like that's one of the things that we do have to deal with as middle school teachers, because elementary, they don't really, some of them got phones now. Some of them do have phones. But once they get to middle school, that's one of the things, they are attached to their phones.
Yeah.
And some of it is like an unhealthy attachment, which
100%.
again, we're not judging because we're
Right.
influencers. We always got our phones.
Yep.
But there is a healthy
But there's like
level.
part of me like as like an adult and as someone who has like been influenced and like sees the negative side of social media, there's part of me that's just like, honey, like put down your phone for a second. Like,
And I have to tell
it's
myself
not,
that.
not all of that is real.
Right.
Like,
with AI. There is a lot. I would have been mortified.
do you know how scared I am of it?
I'm scared of AI because it
No,
like
you're
I
not
don't know.
scared?
I am.
Oh,
I'm saying
okay.
I am too.
I was
I don't.
like-
I don't
because
trust it.
it can literally make people say stuff that they did not say. Like, so the Met Gala, there were so many images from the Met Gala of people thinking that there were celebrities that were at the
I
Met Gala that were
was
not there.
What? For a week. I thought Lady Gaga came as a
Yeah.
tornado. And I was like,
On brand.
I thought Beyonce was
On
there.
amazing.
I thought
amazing.
Beyonce was there. I
Yes.
thought Katy Perry was there. They were
Whoa.
like, these people are not here. I could not tell the difference between.
I could not. I
saw-
at one point, I quit looking at pictures and I had to go look at videos to see if they were actually there. So I was like, because all somebody did was went and typed in the chat GPT, Katy Perry Met Gala outfit. There was some cray outfit of Beyonce.
Yeah.
And they were like, she was not even there.
I saw 2 crazy pictures, Lady Gaga. One with her dressed up in a meat costume, like she would never do that. Then another
Yeah.
one, she arrived in an egg. I'm like, she would never do that. Also, AI these days, am I right?
Am I right?
She did both of those.
She
things.
did both of
those Right.
Sorry, I thought that was funnier in my head. I thought that was way funnier in
I
my
was
head.
like, I have
and then I
no-
said
I was
it.
like, I'm pretty sure she did the meat thing.
yeah, sorry
She had
guys.
a
Sorry
meat-
for you listeners and watchers.
Wait,
that
she had
was
a
really
meat
funny in my
costume on?
brain.
She did.
Yeah,
Like,
she
really?
like, yeah.
What?
Like,
Yeah.
It was like Grammys or something.
Was it great? I don't know. One of
Grammys
those.
are like 2015. It was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Meat.
One of those deals.
Yeah, meat.
Yeah.
Like real, like what
Oh,
kind?
yeah.
Imagine sitting next
like
to
a
her
steak.
at that.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're talking about pop culture reference from
The
2013.
fact that we are both moms and we were grossed out by, I'm like, we see poop on
Yeah.
the regular. Why are
On
we grossed
the
out by that?
regular.
I didn't want to sit next to anybody that was.
What were you like in
Me.
middle school besides being boy crazy?
I was just boy crazy. And like,
Did you do your work?
Oh, yeah.
I would have probably
Oh,
copied
I
off
was a
you.
goodie. I was a goodie.
I would have probably
two-shoes.
copied off
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I'm like, let me see your paper.
And I'll be like, okay.
I would have. I hope you like me.
Yeah, right.
You're the best. Appreciate you. We
Are
both
you my
got an
friend
A
now?
on that
Are we
test. We both, I don't know you in the highway.
What were you like?
I was a wandering, like, I didn't know what was up, what was down. I was
Yeah.
figuring myself out.
Yeah.
Like, I was a good kid. I
Yeah.
know teachers liked me, but I'm also the child of a teacher. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
you're
my kid-
raised usually differently if you have
try.
a parent that's a teacher. But
Yeah.
I just remember, like, middle school was hard, man. Like, middle school, like, people are mean at the middle
Yeah.
school level.
And I
even,
think that's like what we have to remember as
Yeah.
middle
Yeah.
school teachers. And like,
They are
if
mean,
you see a
so
middle
mean
schooler, just
sometimes.
give them a smile because we
Yeah.
made it through, all of us. But
well,
Jesse,
it's,
speaking
somehow-
from experience.
it's
somehow.
It's like Bri was
interesting.
mean to me.
It's interesting as a middle school teacher, like watching middle schoolers and you see them do something mean. It's like, I remember that feeling when I was a kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought I recognized that.
Yeah.
But now as an adult, I do realize, like, you are being mean.
Yeah.
And the meanness
talking
that
to a
middle
real
schoolers
person.
can do is pretty nasty.
It is,
and that's
yeah.
where it's important to, like, have those conversations with them.
Yeah.
And not in just a scream and shout type of way. It's
No,
like,
Which
Hey,
yelling
when
at
you-
them really don't work.
yeah, it's like when you do X, other person feels Y.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's how your actions make them feel.
Yeah.
And a lot of middle schoolers don't get that
Yeah.
because they think that, like, the shock and awe of saying stuff is always good.
Yeah.
They think it's okay to, like, if I put Bri down, Jess is gonna laugh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting the attention I want. They don't
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah.
So it's important to have those conversations with middle
Yeah.
schoolers and just
And with social media has added a lot more like mental health problems
Oh,
for
yeah.
middle school,
Yeah.
for just kids in general. But they're super mean to each other. And one of the things that I did like about my alternate rap program is we did a social emotional learning, which I didn't even know. I was like, what is that? And so I went, and there's like this whole curriculum on
Yeah.
social emotional learning, but we spent so much time, especially in state tested subject, teaching the standards, that I'm like, why is the social emotional learning is a part of the standards, but we don't ever spend any time, we don't spend a lot of time on that because we're so pressed for time and got to get all these standards
Yeah.
in, got to make sure they know how to do right. And I'm like, the social and emotional learning curriculum is important, especially during
Absolutely.
this time while they're growing. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
you do realize that you just called them ugly in front of the entire class. Like you as a boy just looked at a girl and told her how ugly she was in front of the entire class. That's hateful.
Yeah.
That she gonna remember that for the rest of the day. It's gonna affect her probably for the rest of the day. Now, if it's a girl that she like, your mama ugly too. You know what I'm saying? Like some of them know how to clap back, but some
Yeah.
kids like they don't know. They don't
Like, if
know
it was
how to
me, I
clap
would be
back.
dead.
They
well,
gonna
so
start
many
crying.
people have a core memory of getting made fun of in
Oh,
middle
yeah.
school. And that sticks
Oh,
with
yeah.
you. Like, even me now, like, I
Right.
remember that stuff.
Yeah, me
I
too.
remember. Last thing I'm going to say. One of the things that I do every year is I always ask my students, do you wish we didn't have smartphones? And overwhelmingly, the majority of them say, I wish we didn't have smartphones.
Really?
Oh, they don't want to be plugged in. I think they realize the negatives that come
that
from
there's an
social
addiction
media.
to it.
And I think there is an addiction to it. And kids nowadays are truly addicted to their
Yeah.
phones and the constant feedback that you get
Yeah.
that they want to do away with it. Like
Yeah.
they don't want to have
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
But middle schoolers are awesome. You
I
know,
love
as
them.
as goofy
think-
as they
yeah.
are, as silly as they are awesome
It's-
human beings and we love them.
Let me tell you
It's one of
something.
the most rewarding
Those
things
my
I've ever
people.
done in my life.
I don't care what
Yeah.
those
Oh,
my
yeah.
people. I don't want to teach high school. If y'all told me I had to go to kindergarten, I quit. But the 6th, 7th, 8th grade, they're my people. I know I joke about 7th grade, but I like them too because I coached basketball, so I had that. I had 7th graders, and they surprisingly at basketball they ain't argue with adults because I guess they didn't want to run. But
And people
the-
watching
that's
on
the power.
YouTube, leave a comment in below. What's your favorite thing about middle schoolers? Because
Yeah.
middle schoolers can get made fun of a lot, get a bad rep, but they're awesome.
We love you, middle schoolers.
stop
We really
spraying
do.
all that Bath and Body Works.
Yeah, easy with the
perfume.
Axe body spray, but we still love you.
Yeah, I
But
got asthma.
thanks for tuning in this week, you guys. Tell a middle schooler that they're doing fine this week
Not
because
the thumbs up.
they're
You're
going
giving
through a
such
lot.
boomer energy right now, bro.
What? I get thumbs up,
Okay,
man.
boomer. You're an adult. You can handle being made fun of.
I can't. Bye, everybody.
Bye, friends.